Went along to GJ's, didn't really expect that I'd be able to afford to have a brand new house built. And I said, hey, this is my budget, what do you reckon? And they said, yep, we can build your house for that. I just never imagined that I could have a house that was brand new for a start. This house is just so me, I love it.
We had to stick to a pretty tight budget, but we ended up choosing a plan that we thought was amazing.
They had great suggestions and a wide range of options.
And better than what we thought we'd get for our budget.
A new home from GJ's is more affordable than you may think.
We're at the hot pools.
Hi, Papa.
Bucket list. This is so much fun. Christchurch, love you!
Just the beginning!
Kia ora koutou, no mai haere mai, and welcome along to our first women's semi-final for the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour here in Ōtautahi. My name is Tiana Placid, and with me I've got Dean Wilson. Dean, what can we expect today?
Well, we can see the best of beach volleyball in New Zealand. As you mentioned, it's the GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Tour, and this is the Christchurch Super Slam, and we're about to start our women's semi-finals.
It's been a great weekend here. We've had games on Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday, so it's good to have you guys with us at home as well.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful setting here in Cathedral Square, and we are taking beach volleyball to the heart of the city. We're about to introduce the players who will take part in this big women's semi-final.
Indeed, Dean. So, starting with our refs, who do we have?
Okay, so we're going to introduce the referees officiating today. Firstly, second referee, put your hands together for Tauranga, Mr. Tim Cleaver. And the woman in the turret for Birgit Oystenhagen. Okay, and we are looking across the team from Taranaki. In the front court, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Micah Lindsay Brown. And in the back court for the Taranaki team, let's hear it for Susan in Humsley. And the team from Auckland in the backcourt, three-time national champion Francesca Kerwin. And in the front court this afternoon, the 6'1" Olivia McDonald.
That's right, everyone. It is an exciting women's semi-final. You're going to be hanging out with Trent Webby and also Ivy Schmidt, who will be hanging out with you in commentary.
Can't wait for this first women's semi-final, the Christchurch Super Slam.
Hi guys, thanks for that great introduction. My name is Ivy Schmidt. We're happy to be here with Trent Webby.
Absolutely, and we were straight into it with the first point, and as we can see it with a nice service ace straight from Francesca Kerwin. We've got some stunning weather down here today, haven't we, Ivy? It's been beautiful weather the last 3 days.
Oh yes, absolutely mint conditions. Not too much wind, nice and sunny. Gets to be a bit of a scorcher by noon, but cools off for the late night arvos.
Absolutely, and we're starting this first game this morning here at 10 o'clock New Zealand time. The weather at the moment, not a breeze in sight, and the sun is starting to cook up. We've got a few buildings standing up. They're causing a little bit of shade on the court at the moment. I'm sure it's going to change.
Beautiful high line from Lindsay Brown right there.
Yeah, we're straight into this first set with a 2-1 score at the moment. We've had a block and a service ace from Francesca Kerwin, Olivia McDonald, and a beautiful overline shot there by Michael Brown.
Yeah, and so a little background for both of these teams. We had a double elimination 2-day lead up until our semi-final match today. So both these teams had quite the battles the last 2 days. Both been playing really solid volleyball. And today is going to be a real ringer of a game. We've seen Lindsay Brown and Halsley.
Absolutely. We've seen some great stuff here. Good rally start with this first game of the semi-finals. 4 semi-finals in a row, back-to-back. This is the first of the women's. We follow up with a second women's semi-final after this game, and then the 2 men's semi-final, with the finals kicking off at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock this afternoon. Another service ace there.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication there. Not quite sure who was going to take that ball. Just a nice dead float serve that just dropped right in front of her.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're seeing here is some good start to these teams, but Olivia already getting some good blocks there. She's finding some rhythm early here in the game. McDonald, quite a big blocker up on the court. She's aggressive player, and you see that at the moment. She's starting off with a nice, easy float serve, but we may see her whip out her jump serve later on, which is a bit of a aggressive one there.
Yeah, and in beach volleyball, we are going to switch every time the score adds up to 7 points. That's so that no team has an unfair advantage throughout the day. It's small details like that that really make the difference in the sport. And what a beautiful swing by Francesca Kerwin down the line, making it look like there was not even a block in play.
Yeah, we've seen a great start here from the two Beach Ferns here. Olivia McDonald and Francesca Kerwin starting off out the gate really early with a 5-2 on the first cross and have a formidable 4-point lead.
Great option by Olivia. That's a really hard talent to master in beach volleyball. The first ball set from Francesca Kerwin had to be perfect position for her partner to be able to take an approach. She didn't go in there passing just to dig the ball. That was a dig to set ball there.
And then we see that overline shot again by Micah Lindsay Brown. We may actually see that a little bit in this game. She's won 2 points off of that, and is just beating Olivia McDonald off the net, who's peeling to try to dig that overline shot.
Hard luck on that one. Great pressure serve from Halsey.
Service fault there by Susan Hosley. Just going too long with the float serve.
Olivia McDonald sticking with the float serve. And for some reason in the game of beach volleyball, if one person misses the serve, it's a contagion. It's guaranteed that the next person will miss their serve as well.
Yeah, we do see that quite often, actually. In the early start of this game, both teams are just trying to find some rhythm. So they're just trying to find out what's going to work. At the moment, both teams serving what I'd consider moderately to easy serves. Nothing too tricky. There's not much wind, so those float serves aren't moving around too much. But we have seen a couple of aces already.
Yes, we have. And we don't see Olivia McDonald getting served too much. She is a 6'1", with a heavy arm, a high vertical. She puts the ball down. It'll be interesting to see if they stick with that game plan.
Yeah, and a great shot there by Susan. She has just shot that down the line with Liv peeling, but those ones are quite tricky to grab when on the outside of the body. Anything inside the court is a lot easier to take. Talking a little bit about Olivia McDonald before and how aggressive she is. A little bit of background from her. She is actually originating from Pure out in the Taranaki area, and she grew up on a farm. So she is used to lifting hay bales, lifting probably animals, all that sort of stuff. So she's probably got some pretty strong shoulders out there, and we're seeing that with the aggression that she plays in volleyball.
And that was a gorgeous high line from Lindsay Brown. A little bit far off the net, so she didn't have to go too high over the block. It's a lot easier when you have distance between the net to just keep, especially if the block's going to stay up, just to stick to shots. Don't even bother hitting there.
Good float serve there by Micah. A nice little pokey shot there by McDonald. What's a pokey for the people at home, Ivy?
A pokey. So in beach volleyball, you're not allowed to open hand tip the ball like you would in indoor. So what we do is we close our first two knuckles, and put them out, and that makes a pokey.
And it just bumps off the top, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you want to throw a cheeky little thumb touch in there, as long as the ref doesn't see it, it's all good.
Oh,
It's
next time I referee your games, Ivy, I'll be looking out for that thumb.
This is why I'm retired.
Handset there. Well played by Micah Lindsay Brown. Something you don't see so much in women's volleyball is hand sets, but we've seen a bit out here today. We've seen both McDonald and Lindsay Brown choosing to hand set quite a few times, and they're both confident with it, which is really good to see.
Yes, I'm really enjoying the return to hand setting. I wish I had started hand setting and stuck with it for beach volleyball, because now it's making a comeback. But for a few years there, no one was hand setting. It was all bump sets, because the minute you threw out your hands, it was called a double.
Yeah, and that's something that our first ref here, Birgit, would be looking. Yep, so we're just actually going to a 2-hour technical timeout here. It's beach gear for any weather, 2-hour towels, thanks to them. Technical timeout is when the score equals a total of 21. Both teams can take a little break here, talk strategies, and it doesn't cost them anything. So each team gets 1 timeout per set, and this doesn't cost them. This is a free timeout for them.
Yeah, so I heard you did a little playing this weekend, Webby. How was that?
Yes, I did touch the sand out there over the weekend. It was an awesome tournament down here, actually. Unfortunately, we weren't able to seal the semi-final position late last evening, missing out on a 2-set battle, which was 2 points both ways. So we won't talk much about my game. We might talk about that later on. We're going to stay tuned with these women's games. It's just the first women's semi-final here at the New Zealand Beach Tour. 3rd stop on the GJ Gardner Homes Tour. There's that over line. Well read, though, by Francesca Curwen. And a great swing. Good side out.
Yeah, we like to call that a scoop and deliver. So Olivia McDonald doing her job as a blocker. She threw up angle block. She was going to take half that court, and all Francesca Curwen had to do was slide over into that line, making it look effortless, easy. The hardest skill in volleyball, though, is that deliver. And we see it there again. A scoop and deliver. Just dig, pass that hit kill.
Yeah, Susan Mhasley is actually quite a crafty player. You'll see that she's not a big power. She's only stands at 170 centimeters, which is actually still fairly tall in women's volleyball, but she's a great backcourt player and plays a crafty game. Only having played beach volleyball for 5 years since she moved to New Zealand from Switzerland. She played a year in Switzerland, just, I guess, more social, learning how to play. But it's just fallen in love with the game. And it's pretty hard not to fall in love with beach volleyball. It's such a great lifestyle, isn't it, Ivy?
It really is. And if you haven't come down to, if you're in the Christchurch area, what we've got going on is amazing. I believe this is the first time that there's been a beach volleyball court set up in the Cathedral Square.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's pretty cool. You've got all these skyscrapers. You've got yesterday a lot of people, and on Friday a lot of people from the CBD walking around and saying, just walking by and seeing what's up. So we're getting a lot of foot traffic and getting a lot of exposure, which is what I'm sure that Beach Days events are trying to do with this tour.
Yes, and I loved that shot from Mhasley. I love to see the over on ones. As I've always said, it works every single time, half the time. Can't go wrong with a line tagger either. That's always going to work.
And then we see that deep shot again by Micah Lindsay Brown. She's finding that back tape, the back line, baseline, quite a few times there, which is quite a tricky thing to do. You can either be on or off, depending on the weather. Francesca Curwen hitting that one too far long. And we're closing up the gap a little bit here. It's just a 1-point game, 14-13 to McDonald Curwen, the Beach Ferns. Micah Lindsay Brown with the serve. Great dig there, over on one. Big power. And Susan taking that one to the head. We might just have a little bit of a time there just to wipe off some sand. It was a big hit there by McDonald, and Susan was in the right spot there to take it. Just stayed a little bit higher than she was probably anticipating.
Yes, and it does look like her glasses cut into her face. We are going to take a medical timeout there. I believe we get 5 minutes on that medical timeout, so bear with us, bear with us.
A little bit more about Susan Mhasley. She is an avid artist. She loves to do a lot of different types of art in her free time. You can find her out in New Plymouth. Both these players, Michael Lindsay Brown and Susan Husley, are from the New Plymouth area. And they both love to surf. They both love art and being outdoor. It's quite a nice lifestyle to live down in old New Plymouth. Michael Lindsay Brown's actually been on the tour for quite a wee while. Probably one of the longest reigning tour players. It'll be interesting to find out how she finds this stop. This is a new one. She may have played here back in the day. There used to be a few events down here in Christchurch. So it's great to see it come back down here into the city centre. She's been playing beach volleyball for 18 years, which is pretty awesome to see that she is still performing at her peak here and making a semi-final on this tour stop.
Yeah, that is a long, long time to be playing beach volleyball. How long have you been playing, Trent?
I've lost count. Actually,
it's not that hard to count. You have 10 fingers, 10 toes. Whip them out.
Let's have a look. According to the stat sheet here, it says I've been on tour for 8 years.
Oh, I love these stat sheets, honestly. So we have this information of every single player on the New Zealand Beach Volleyball Tour. We have their current town of residence. We have their heights, their hometowns, their date of birth. I feel like I could make some profiles here for these people. I mean, we get to know their weirdest facts about them, their jobs. It's interesting. I feel a little intrusive having this information. I feel like I have weird control over what I say.
Absolutely. No, it's pretty cool. Looking here at some of the weird facts about them. Some people probably not wanting to tell you what their weird and interesting facts. Susan Husley says that she's a totally normal person. There's nothing weird about her, which is, I can't believe that. Everyone's got something weird about them.
Well, McDonald left hers blank, so there must be quite a bit on that.
So a good side out there after a medical timeout. Just had a little breather as Susan took a big spike to the head earlier.
And we've seen quite the comeback from Imhalsley Lindsay Brown. We're only down a 1-point deficit, which just closed to a tie, 15-all.
Yeah, we've seen a few errors coming from McDonald and Kerwin. They're getting free nets where the blocker is peeled, but they're just hitting them out. You can't afford to do that this late in the first set. You can't serve out this late in the first set.
Yeah, so McDonald and Kerwin are going to play a very physical game. Obviously, we've got McDonald, who's just a huge force at the net. Kerwin's the traditional defender versus Imhalsley Lindsay Brown, or I would say on the smaller size for beach volleyball. What they're going to do is a scrap game. They're going to do those cheeky little cutback options right there. They're going to just dig everything. They're just going to play their game and just try and put as much pressure on Kerwin McDonald.
Yeah, we're actually already seeing that already. We're seeing that Lindsay Brown and Imhalsley, their main tactic is get the ball across the net and leave Kerwin and McDonald to make the errors. And it's working.
Yes, but that was a beautiful drop from Lindsay Brown. That high line shot, short pokey, just over the block from Kerwin was just an easy pickup for Lindsay Brown there. Came down, slow off that block, dropped back, perfect pass, just not quite able to execute on the set.
Yeah, we see Susan go over on one there. It's that same tactic, put the ball on that side. And a two ball. We're just going to make them have to work as much as possible. And then we see the error.
Yes, yes. Well, especially when you're a smaller team, you might as well just play some trickier shots because obviously they're not going to overpower Kerwin McDonald. Their game is going to be those smaller, those trickier shots to catch them off guards.
Tight set, and we see a good swing there by McDonald, powering it down the cross.
Yeah, like I said, no one is going to outpower McDonald today.
No.
6'1", she's been in the weight room.
Yeah.
She's flying.
McDonald actually was one of our first ever beach volleyball scholarship, getting the scholarship to the University of Arizona, getting a SAN scholarship to learn and play beach volleyball while studying. And as an occupation, she's now an unpaid professional athlete, which I don't know how much of a good occupation that is. She does help out on the Weet-Bix Kids Triathlon, though, doing a few events there, giving back to the community. Always good to see. Big block there.
I think you should get paid for that stuff. That's just a wall. and McDonald Kerwin pulled away. We were all tied up at 17-all, and then they've just taken that 3-0 advantage. Some errors from Imhalsey Lindsey Brown, but definitely Kerwin McDonald just taking kind of control of that game, and that's just experience on the World Tour.
Yeah.
But great response under pressure from Lindsey Brown there.
Yeah, great cut shot. Way to defend one of the 3 set points. There's 2 more set points for Kerwin and McDonald. They'll just be wanting to side out this ball. Nice pass, nice set. Finish it off. It's the pass.
Those hands.
This is it. And questionable about that touch and the... But apparently there was a little bit of a finger in there, and so therefore they were able to recycle the ball and they got away with it.
Yeah, so Lindsey Brown was arguing that she didn't actually block that ball. We're going to go to a replay. You can see Kerwin there. The replay, it's even hard to tell in that. You know, that's just part of beach volleyball. Sometimes as a player, you see it one way. It's really just up to the ref.
Yeah. And when it comes to that final point, you can't really protest afterwards. Once the set has been called concluded, that's it. No more arguing.
Yeah, and you can't. It's hard because you want, if you're going to call attention to it, you want to do it in the moment, but you have to keep playing. So it's just that catch-22. You can't really win or lose in that situation. Yeah, but on McDonald being the first beach volleyball scholarship recipient from New Zealand, it sounds like we've actually had quite a few promising athletes hanging around Christchurch at the courts helping out. So I know we had, I believe their name was, they're Christchurch girls, and it's Taylor Hold'em and Rosa Vesti. Date of birth 2004. Yeah. 2004, and they were able to qualify for this Super Slam.
And I tell you what, they play some amazing volleyball. 2 young girls that we'll be able to see probably in the future. If they stick with beach volleyball, they will become household names. Taking on the top seeds, Julia Tilley and Annalise Fitzy in the first round, and giving them a good run for their money. It was a 2-point ball game in both sets.
Yeah, I was able to actually talk to them and watch them play at their secondary schools championships or competition the other week down in the Mount, and I was really impressed with their level of play that they played against their peer group, obviously, and then they maintained that coming here. So it's going to be exciting to see this game grow and see more recipients of those beach volleyball scholarships.
Yeah, absolutely. The great thing about this event, and maybe Canterbury Volleyball Association as well, is that we've seen a big growth of beach volleyball down here in the South Island. It's been pretty dominated by the North Island, up around the Bay of Plenty, Auckland areas. And we're starting to see here on the court today, we've got 2 players here from New Plymouth. And we'll see later on a few Christchurch guys. It's awesome to see the sport growing. Low set there. Good dig though by Micah. Can we recycle?
Oh, great one-arm dive, barely scraping that ball over, but that point is going to go Kerwin, McDonald, just clean volleyball on their side.
We see a big smile there from Susan. That's what I love actually about Susan and Micah. They play with all their hearts, but they also always finish with a big grin. And I think it's really important in any sport actually, having that positive attitude, because the moment when you're playing in a team sport, if you look over to your partner and they've got a sad, morbid look on their face, it doesn't really get you motivated to play your best. So when you see a good big smile, everyone's having fun.
Yeah, and I mean, once you make one of those diving save efforts like that, so great highline shot by McDonald. Imhalsey hustles, gets a touch on that, one-arms, doesn't get it up, but she's still content she touched that. And that's the satisfaction that you get from playing beach volleyball. Like, that's going to be a sick photo. If she has Instagram, I'd be chucking that up on the daily. Like,
I love that. And just a hitting error there, trying to go on 2. We're still seeing the same strategy we saw in the first set, which Micah Lindsey Brown, Susan Hasley are just trying to keep the ball on the other side of the court and seeing if they can cause some errors from McDonald and Kerwin. Little pokey, good touch there.
oh, great set.
Got a free ball opportunity here for the Naki girls. Tight set. And a net violation.
Yeah, net violation. So you're not allowed to actually touch the net. It's a barrier between the 2 courts, safety reasons. So you want to get as close to that net as possible without actually physically touching it. Otherwise, point goes the other way.
Quick fact, do you know the height of a women's net?
I don't know the height of anything. I'm from America. We use a different system to measure everything in the world than everyone else.
Give us it in feet and inches.
Okay, I also don't know it then, but it is. So if I stood up and I got in front of this camera, I could show you exactly where the net is supposed to touch on my fingertips. But I don't know the actual measurement. But I know what it's supposed to look like.
It's a classic beach volleyball measurement, eh? You put your hand up against the net, you're like, yeah, normally it's up to my fingernails. It's a little bit low today.
And a great high line from Halsey there. Nice shot from Kerwin. So with Kerwin being a traditional right side player, and of course Kerwin and McDonald have been playing for years together at this point, no matter where Kerwin passes the ball, they like to run a push set, keep her on the antenna. She loves her high line. Whether it's high line, hitting line, she does have a good angle as well, but they try and stick her out to that antenna to free up that whole court for her.
Absolutely. And Kerwin, well, those at home, those are watching from afar, probably know that last name if you're a Kiwi. She is the daughter of Sir John Kerwin, who may be watching. Shout out to you, Sir John Kerwin. She also runs her own business, selling wine, JK14. Check it out if you like. It's a beautiful wine. She resides up in Auckland, and she's played a lot of volleyball overseas. Her family coming from Italy as well, so she has a lot of roots over there. And she's quite an avid player.
And I believe she was recently engaged.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Congratulations to Francesca. It's an awesome thing. And I don't know if everyone just saw that on their TV, but that was a massive hit there by Olivia McDonald. Both these two players have played together. You mentioned that before, Ivy. McDonald and Kerwin have actually had a run for the last couple of years, I believe, together. So this partnership's nothing too strange.
No, and you can just tell from the way that they play on the court together because their sets are where they're expecting. They just have this. So just like in life, you have chemistry with people, chemistry with your partner, and then beach volleyball partners, you need chemistry. A lot of Olympians go to couples counseling to stay together because you have all the spats, you're traveling together. It's hard for beach volleyball. We've got a little controversy up here. I'm not quite sure what's going on, so we're just going to wait for that reffing decision.
Yeah, I think they're just discussing. I think first ref Bigot has asked second ref Tim Cleaver to come over just to confirm that she's doing the right call. The ball was being played quite close to her. She was just trying to ask whether or not there was a net touch violation or a antenna fault, I believe, at first. The ball cannot touch the antenna. We've got to remember the antenna is just an object to mark where the sideline is, and anything that hits that, well, if the ball hits that, that is an interference and it's out of play.
But point to Halsey Lindsey Brown. I believe Halsey and Lindsey Brown have been playing together for quite a while now. I know they at least played the tour last year together, and I'm assuming they've been playing.
Actually, I believe Micah definitely played it last year. She played with a few different players, Lindsey Brown. I feel like Susan's actually pretty new to the tour. I could be mistaken, but I believe she's new to the tour, and she's obviously showing her worth out there on the backcourt, digging up everything.
Well, it's been together at least a year, which is pretty magical in beach volleyball. My uni coach back in the day used to call it your future ex-partner, because you're going to break up with them eventually.
Yeah, beach volleyball is definitely like a relationship. You definitely have your good days and your bad days. You talk a lot, you communicate, and at the end of the day, when you walk off that court, you know, you both still like each other, or hopefully still like each other.
And we just saw a beautiful kill from McDonald. She's just kind of taken control of this game, I would say. I don't think she's made too many errors, and I think every time she's hit the ball, it's been a kill.
Yeah, she's actually stuck with this float set. She's found some good rhythm with it, which is great to see. She can definitely rip a good toppy, but this could be, at this point in the game, maybe just a chance to conserve some energy as well.
Yeah, especially after 2 days of playing in the hot sun.
Great
You
dig
need the
there.
energy to do that.
This is a great
wow.
rally. Here we go. Can they put it away? And
They
she
can.
Yeah, very good. That was a stunning dig there. Great cover by Olivia McDonald. She's chasing to the net for the little short shot that Michael Lindsay Brown left. Gets the hand on it. Francesca giving a great set and a big swing by McDonald, but then also dug by Susan. It's just good volleyball. Passing error there by Michael Lindsay Brown.
We're going to take a timeout here. I would say one of the hardest skills in beach volleyball is the mental aspect of it. So obviously, it's kind of like a free throw in basketball. It's the most underrated skill. You can do a free throw at any single time, any given moment, especially in the NBA, and then come to that high pressure, say, you got him, you have, I honestly don't know anything about basketball. I just know that, like, when an NBA player goes for a free throw and there's no one around him, he should be easily able to make that shot. But in front of fans in a stand, he's going to miss sometimes. It's the same thing with passing on a beach volleyball court. It's an easy skill, easy enough, and yet high pressure moment. This is Championship Sunday. We're in Christchurch. We're broadcasting live. We've got quite a good audience around, and sometimes that high pressure is just causes the mental, it's more of the mental aspect of passing than
Absolutely.
the physical.
Yeah, and there's definitely a big mental part to this sport, beach volleyball. That passing you mentioned about there, Ivy, that's probably the one point where you actually have to make a decision, whereas when you're in a rally, everything's just a reaction. I mean, you're still making a decision on what you want to hit or shoot, but 9 times out of 10, you're just reacting to where the ball is. Well, maybe that's just how I play.
And that's why we're here commentating. That is why we're here and not playing.
Make
If you
some better
can't
decisions.
commentate.
So we're seeing a good lead here by McDonald and Kerwin in the second set here at the women's semi-final. The GJ Gardner Homes New Zealand Beach Tour down here at the Christchurch Super Slam. Big lot of sand in the middle of the CBD. If you're just joining us, this is a spectacular venue. Getting some good crowds.
A spectacular game to watch. Just McDonald's control over this game right now. I wish I'd been keeping stats on that because, and we should also have a power ranking, not just stats for amounts of kills, but maybe style points, power play points. Surely we can develop some sort of system.
Absolutely. And we take a 2-hour technical timeout now. Beach gear for any weather, 2-hour towels. They are awesome. I've got myself one, and it is the best thing I've actually ever got. My partner got it for me, actually. You go to the beach, you have your swim, and you just chuck on this towel that's got a hood and sleeves, and it's the most chill thing you can rock at the beach.
I would honestly love one, but, you know.
Mine's bright yellow, like a banana.
My friend has a bright purple one, and he looks like a giant dinosaur walking around in it. I find it hilarious. I would absolutely love one. 2L, thank you for your support from the tour. If you'd like to support some broke commentators, we would also really appreciate you.
We return back to the second set here at the first women's semi-final. Francesca Kerwin to serve. Her biggest inspiration in life is mum and dad. How nice is that?
I would also be inspired by my dad.
Yeah, they are great role models, aren't they?
My dad's probably not as great of a role model as hers, but you know.
All right, we want to see a little run here now from Susan Halsley and Michael Lindsay Brown. Good touch.
And that was a power hit from Kerwin. Love to see that deep angle. Susan was able to get a hand on it, but just not able to control that dig. Too much heat, too much power.
Absolutely. McDonald going back to serve now. McDonald's favorite pastime. What do you reckon it is? Ivy? I'll tell you what it is.
I bet you can because it's right in front of us. Let's hear that answer, Trent.
For those at home, a little quiz. Olivia McDonald's favorite pastime is tanning.
Oh, how could I not have guessed that one?
And when you're playing beach volleyball, you definitely have a lot of opportunity to tan, that's for sure.
Guys, if you're listening to this, wear your sunscreen, SPF 50, especially if you're living in New Zealand. The sun here is brutal. Yeah.
That was pretty good. They've switched up blocking there. Susan Hosley is up on the front court and only at 170 centimetres. She's doing well. She got a good touch on that. Unfortunate to not keep it on the other side of the net.
Yeah, Halsey, Lindsay Bowden are a solid team. They had a few battles this week. I think a lot of people have shown a lot of respect and kind of offer their talent this weekend. I've been very impressed. I think they've definitely kicked it up a notch since what we saw in Ruakaka, for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those teams that progresses through each stop, getting better and better. They've been in a few semi-finals this season already, and it's just great to have them here.
Yeah, even though the score is not close, this has been a good game to watch. It's just when you're playing a World Tour team, physically just a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful, unless you're going to change, they need to maybe change up their blocking a little bit, maybe go back to just a cleaner style of play. There's little things that they could tweak, but I think they're putting up an impressive fight against this team of Kerwin McDonald.
Crafty little cut there by Hosley. She just seen the little space there in front of the net and just popping it over.
Yeah, that's their game, is those crafty little shots. And to do that, you really got to like pass up, set up. So every skill in beach volleyball, you're moving the ball closer to the net. I think that's kind of just where the misconnect's been this game for them. And it's just that's just a beautiful kill, just a power drive down the middle.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot more aggression now on the end of the second set, and from both Kerwin and McDonald, as they've found their rhythm and they're away, and they've got 11 match points here. You could say that they're probably going to be in a little bit of cruise control here, and we're seeing that jump serve to finish.
Just warming it up for the next match.
And a hidden error by Susan. So that was a great game there for the first semi-final of the women's of the New Zealand Beach Tour, thanks to GJ Gardner Holmes. The eventual winners, Olivia McDonald and Francesca Kerwin. So a great game there. And we'll thank our first and second ref. First ref Biggett from Auckland and second ref Tim Cleaver from Tauranga. It's been an awesome game. Great first set, wasn't it, Ivy?
It was beautiful to watch. You know, we're going to do some live interviews with the winners in just a moment here. And then you get to listen to me and Trent back here at 11 for the next semifinal game.
Absolutely, yeah. So big thank you also to a few sponsors, Christchurch City Council for dropping all the sand here in the CBD and allowing us to play this awesome sport in such an awesome arena. And a big thanks to GJ Gardner Holmes, crown sponsors, and we're going to now join over to our MCs who are going to have a little encore interview. We'll join you shortly for the second women's semi-final here at the GJ Gardner Holmes New Zealand Beach Tour.
So hopefully they'll come over and have a bit of a cordial soon with us. But Dean, what's your thoughts? This was our first women's semi, and we've got one just around the corner.
Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. And the number 2 seeds, they've played a lot around the world on the European tour, but showing that experience and that control, and they're looking great for the finals.
Indeed, that's right. So we're going to get Francesca and also Olivia McDonald to join us now.
Yeah, no, wonderful stuff. And okay, over to you, Tiana.
All right, guys. So Francesca, that was a stunning effort. You won the second set very comfortably. How was it for you?
It felt very good. It's always good to play Micah and Susan. They've got so much experience that they always hang in there. So it was really important for us to just show our aggressiveness and be composed. So yeah, we're happy with that.
Brilliant.
And Olivia, you were a tower of strength at the net there. Your blocks, your hits, you've in your groove today.
Yeah, feeling pretty comfortable. It always takes a bit of a while to get used to a new court, new sand, but no, I'm feeling pretty good.
All right, guys, so you have your finals coming up at 2:15 today. Now, what are you guys going to be focusing on going into this game?
Well, we're definitely going to watch the semi-final. We do know these girls pretty well, but it'll be good to see this match and sort of analyse what they do. But yeah, Liv's just doing so well up the net, so it's just a matter of trying to be big, staying aggressive, and yeah, try and win.
And Olivia, what's it like playing in Cathedral Square here in Christchurch? What's it like having the beach court right in the heart of the city?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, like you guys said this morning, it's exactly like Europe. Such a good feeling, such good memories flow back. Like Francie and I spent a few summers in Europe, and it's awesome to have that kind of feel again.
I totally agree. So thank you so much, girls. Congratulations on your win in the semis. Good luck for your finals, and we can't wait to see that happening at 2:15 today.
Wonderful stuff. Well done, Francesca Kerwin, Olivia McDonald. We have found the first of our women's finalists.
We sure have, but don't go anywhere. We have our next game coming up at 11 o'clock, so it's only 15 minutes away, so we'll see you back here soon.